I remember how God delivered me. We were in that place, that small place, all right? And I was in the place of prayer. I was saying, how long? When will you bring redemption to us? When will your face of mercy shine and you will enlarge our coast and cause our borders to flow with milk and honey? I was just talking to God. And the Lord said, if you say you are a giant, then take giant steps. That's the message I'm preaching to you today. If you say, yeah, please preach for me. If you say you are a giant, what do? Take. So what God was saying, it was not up to me. I've already made everything available, but your mind is small. Meanwhile, when you preach, you say you are a giant in the Lord. It's all right. If you believe what you are saying, that you are a giant, what you need to do to prove it is what? Take giant steps. Take giant steps. Take giant steps. Take giant steps. I said, all right, no problem. Our architect came. I said, draw an auditorium of 4,000. You think I'm mad? Indeed, if you had seen me then, you would say, he's mad. But you see, I had an instruction from God to take. So, I want to take the step. If they fail, then I'll go back to God and say, Oga, I was on my own. I was doing well. You said I should take. But God never gave me the opportunity to come back with a complaint. Never gave me the opportunity. The foundation for this place was laid 55 million. When I stood on it, I spoke to Satan. I said, Satan, this is no longer in the realm of the spirit. This is on ground now. I'm working on it. You were alive, but it happened. You were well, but you could not resist this. Even as we raise it up, you will look at it from where you are, and you will see that it will happen in spite of you. Oh my God, I prayed in tongues on the ground. I prayed in tongues on the ground. I prayed in tongues. I shook myself. It was becoming exciting. And the walls began to go up. Jesus Christ. I remember when they put these slabs and I walked on it, I said, Satan, you that have bedeviled. Meanwhile, Ministry of Works came and checked the foundation. And they say since 1976, no building in Benue State has been built like this. Are you there? The Guild of Engineers, they came, civil engineers, current, they came to check whether our building was according to specification. It exceeded current specification for safety. It exceeded it. They thought that, okay, the thing was deficient so that they can ask for bribe. They left dry. I say more Korea Bakanemi. Dry. Then they stopped coming. They were supposed to come like 4 or 5 times. So what we did was, if we build, we'll snap it and then we'll keep it on the dashboard, so that even if they forget to come, all the things they're looking for is on the dashboard. They didn't come again until the roofs. People say it was the governor that was building. The governor sent spies to check who is behind this building. And the people saw me many times, but I didn't look like the person behind. Thank God. I didn't look. So they went without finding the person. Even the day of inauguration, we called the governor and he looked at me. You see, it's not me. What do I have? Who am I? But Jesus was the one that trained my mind. He said, if you say you are a giant, do what? Take giants. I kept my promise. I thought that was all. Then I started seeing visions of the project we are doing now. When they drew the architectural design, I thought it was just a small, fine place. I didn't know that it was 4,500 capacity. I didn't know. I couldn't tell. We had only 12 million in the account. Then I had lent El Shaddai. I wanted to know if it was the one that wanted us to build. So we knew that. So we now deployed the first 10 million. No, first 12 million. When we deployed that 12 million, I came to the pulpit to preach. And I preached that day. As I've been preaching for years, for 14 years. I preached that day. Someone called and said, where are you from? I've been here, Liberal. Sent 1 million. Preached the second day because it was COVID, so we couldn't go back to work. We were working from home. The borders of the states were closed. That was when you prophesied to me. This man called me and said, may God bless him. Hallelujah. He said, the bottom line, let me not tell you what he said, but the meaning of what he said is, it is time for you to start preaching now. Yeah. It's okay. On the 7th day of that preaching, police came to arrest me. I said, I've broken COVID. So we invited the police to come in. The one in our state is, if it's a call like this, the minimum should be 30. We were 15. About 7 of them were in the console room managing the video. They were not even in the hall. Those of us in the hall were like 8 or thereabout. So what law did we break? He insisted that I must be arrested with handcuff. So one of my pastors now said, if you are looking for who to arrest, take me. I should continue my preaching. From that day that they arrested that pastor, if I preach, the offering will be 1 million. I preach tomorrow, it's 1 million. Preach it's next million, 1 million. I preached it's 1 million. I preached it's 1 million. On the 26th day I preached, it was 11 million that as offering. Not from the people I was pastoring, from where I don't know. You know, do you understand what I'm talking about? I'm talking about we were spending from the central bank. I saw an alert from 1 million, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I saw 10. I saw 25. I saw 50. I saw 80. I saw 90. I saw 109. I saw till it became 200. And on the 80th day of the preaching, meanwhile, the police came again to arrest. This time, you will be arrested. There were only 5 people in the hall. Only 5 people in the hall, but they said they got information, reliable. I said, yeah, come inside. He came and saw 5 people inside with handcuffs. He said, okay. The problem now is that he spent his own personal money to come here. And he must arrest someone, but because he spent his own personal, so we now gave him the money he spent. And then the transport to go back to where he came from. So that preaching you say I should preach, it was not without challenges. In 80 days, we had raised 200 and something million. So we now started building the place. That was when I discovered that the foundation alone was 55 million. But you know, I'd gone too far. We're already running on the tightrope of grace and I'm becoming used to it. And I stood again on that foundation and told Satan, this one is no longer in the spirit realm. That was how supplies broke out. A time came, CBN came up with a rule. A rule that stopped, it ran for one month, 2 weeks. It stopped our foreign brethren from being able to send money to us. That was when I discovered that we have opened a domiciliary account that nobody gave into. For the past 5 years, it was dormant. I went there and applied for them to reactivate it. So that was what we now put there. God changed our economy from the naira economy to the dollar economy. So we thank God that CBN obeyed Satan to do that. This is a live testimony, I'm telling you. You know, I was in the oil industry, so I know that they buy crude in dollars. So we now had people that wanted to buy dollars. So as the thing, if it gets filled up, the marginal sales is 50,000, and they credit you in naira. I mean, such foreign exchange possibilities that is not in the black market. This building began to. The roofing is 56 million. The sound 87 million. The multimedia screen $45,000 US.
The stage light, $45,000 US. The stage, $6,700 US. The rock, $20,700. 20,700,000. Because the naira was unpredictable, we had to pay at once. Because if you don't, they will give you the price as at. You understand what you are a bank? You understand what I'm? It was no longer. We left the regime of the strength of man, and we began to see what grace can be. I am giving this testimony for the first time for a reason. Before I left Makurdi to come to Lagos, it was 748 million. Even the governor's building is on hold. The governor. He had to send his spies to the building to ask, who are the people doing this in this economy? 748 million. So it is more than that now, because when I came to Lagos, we had to still make some payments. So I've lost count of current figure. The AC, 43 million. Central AC system. I've forgotten the ceiling. Then the parts for the roof, so that it will not be hot. We can change the, which is also an acoustic, material that will blot out echoes. I saw God a way I've never seen him. So I tell you, to operate by grace is better. So when you were talking about power, that there's a power, God ministered this to me, that the day where you will see the work of the grace of God, that's the season that you're coming. Politicians in our state that will never go to church because they're idol worshippers, they have their shrines in their houses. That project has attracted all of them. I appeared unto your ancestors as El Shaddai. He appears to you now as the El Shaddai. He calls you into a walk of faith and the currency of the